Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 640. I'm one of the hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy
What's up?
and Tony Korkanakis.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers, to 640 of the Moviecast. We are live streaming on Twitch Tuesday night starting at 8 o'clock. Corey's on vacation, so we're missing him tonight. But have fun in Florida, Corey. Welcome to the episode, folks. Once again, like I said, we're live on Twitch. We are on YouTube the following day, so if you're watching this on YouTube, smash that subscribe and like button for us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get into this, guys. What we've been up to. I've watched a few shows. I've watched Ted Lasso. I don't know. I don't know if Corey is the other guy that watched that. Tony, you watch that show?
I watched it. I haven't.
Yeah, you haven't
I
watched the new
haven't checked
season
out
yet.
the new season yet. No.
Okay, it's been very good. It picks up same feeling, same vibes as the first two seasons. It's very good start of the show, and I'm quite happy with it. The second you start rewatching it again, the more it reminds you how much you like that show. It's like one of those shows you watch kind of almost with a smile on your face. That's how good it is. It's just fun. It's a good feeling, fun show, and yeah, great. So it's very good. More of the same, which is nothing wrong with that. Mandalorian. You guys watch that one?
Did not watch
I
that.
haven't
Okay.
missed the last couple of weeks
It
because
is.
yeah.
It is the shortest episode of the season at 33 minutes. Directed by Carl Weathers. It is a good episode that likes to focus on other characters. Is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's a good episode. I was going to talk about a redemption piece in this. I don't know if anybody's seen any of the news. There is a character
Yeah.
who gets his redemption playing a new character in the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
And good bravo to him. He did a fantastic job in this episode, and good for him. So it was good, very good. And other than that, I watched Dragon Ball Super, which is just continuing on.
It's
Just
so
continuing.
weird to me. I don't understand why they would be like, yeah, you need redemption. Like,
Because he had like all these like issues, like he took it very personally, and
Yeah,
I
he
guess
did.
some people did make it personal, but I also think, he took it more personally than maybe
I
you'd
mean,
expect an actor to take
you gotta,
criticism of a
yeah,
character
but
that he plays that
it
doesn't
depends on
even
who
look
you
like
are.
him.
Like,
But
it depends. It's very hard to say that because it, there's very toxic fans, and not just in Star Wars, but across the universe.
and
Like,
and
there's
there
so many
definitely
toxic
were
fans.
some people who were, tried to make it personal, and it got to him for sure, and
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
a long time. So I mean, it's more for him, I think, than anyone else. But it's good.
He did a good job. So I very much liked the episode, although it was very short. And yeah, so that's it for me though. Mike, anything?
I mean, I've watched a few more episodes of Doom Patrol.
Okay.
I'm coming up close to that mid-season break still. That both it and Titans are on. We still don't know when they're both finishing up with their last handful of episodes, but
Yeah.
it's same thing. Just craziness in Doom Patrol. And other than that, I've just seen a lot of Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood because that's what Carter likes.
Oh, you're in the Daniel Tiger. Do you know,
Yeah.
for me, when I realized what that was, I was at my friend's house, his kids were watching it, and then I saw like the trolley, and I'm like, is this Mr. Rogers? And then I found out what that was, his family. Yeah. I was like, holy cow, this is incredible. Um,
It's
um
it's strange, and I also realized that the Daniel Tiger from Mr. Rogers is really his dad, I think, in the show.
oh,
So
hmm.
there's like a Mr. Rogers cinematic universe here. Well, not cinematic maybe, but
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Uh,
But yeah, I got your man. So, all right.
mhm.
Tony?
nothing for me. I was in Boston all week, so.
Oh, that's right. I can't wait to
All
hear
right,
about that.
man, we got that stuff going on.
This is a Gamecast kind of conversation. I have some stuff to talk about in the Gamecast. I can't wait. So that was
Oh boy.
kind of my big thing this weekend was more playing games than watching stuff. So,
Mm.
I did watch Chainsaw Man episode 1. So
Okay.
cool thing. Yeah, I keep getting enticed by it, so it was good. All right, let's get into let's see, a little box office, maybe a little news. I mean, we had a great opening weekend for John Wick, Mr. Wick. What did they bring in? $73.8 million at number one movie. Creed 3 was 10.4. Shazam and Scream. Shazam dropped terribly, but good. Congrats to John Wick. Keanu Reeves.
Yep, best opening, I believe, for the franchise.
I've heard so many good things about this movie, and I haven't seen it yet, unfortunately. But Donnie Yen is supposed to be like one of his, if not his best performance, which is insane to think about how good his stuff has been. Like to hear that, I'm like, I'm really psyched to see this. So I have to get to the theaters and check this thing out. There's no question. But I mean, I don't know when I'm going to go, but I have to go to see this thing. I was looking at tickets for Saturday morning to see if I can get in there in the morning or something, but we'll see. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But it looks good. It's a very good opening for it. Shazam, how on the other hand, with only a 68% drop, not an Ant-Man-esque fall, but not a same opening either. So you're talking 9.3 million for this, and it's just never gonna. I mean, it's never gonna make its money back at all. It's struggling to meet its first movie's opening weekend in the second week. Like it's not past that yet.
Yep.
That's a big problem. That's a big problem. I think it gets it this weekend, but like 125 worldwide's a struggle for this. That's going to be the hard part. Can they break 100? Can they break 100?
Who knows? It's just
Probably not.
there's just no enthusiasm behind this other than the people who worked on it.
Yeah, I know.
Who are very upset and angry with everybody.
Oh, it's
pretty
a
funny.
lot of anger out there right now. A lot, unfortunately.
I mean,
So
I see it. I get it. Like, I don't feel like this is inherently worse than a lot of other movies. It's just you expect superhero movies to be tied into a bigger universe, and you just don't know what's going on with the universe right now. So these like C tier characters, no one's gonna go see their shit unless it's tied into something else. You don't know.
yeah. So all right, that's your box office. Nothing opening this week. I don't think really. Nothing open against John Wick. I mean, next week obviously we have the Mario movie. Next week. Next week. The 7th, right? Yeah.
Next week.
Next week.
Boy.
So yeah, excited. Got my tickets already, so I'm psyched for it. So can't wait. Can't wait for that one. Cool. All right, let's get into some news, guys. Let's talk about some stuff going on in the news world. We'll start with James Gunn supporting SnyderCon. That's right. That's right, fanboys. That's right, Snyder fanboys. He does support and is donating to Zack Snyder SnyderCon. So for all those that want to hate him,
know what that is though. The SnyderCon is just him like screening some of his shit. Like that's it.
I think he raises money while screening this stuff, but people like they come in and they watch the movies and he makes money off of that for like donations. So it's the same idea. Like he's going to donate as well, James Gunn, towards this. And he even said he'd be there if he wasn't promoting Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
He wouldn't be there. Not.
I don't know.
He would.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have created a lot of hate between these two people that may not exist. That's for certain.
I don't think there's hate between them, but I don't think James Gunn wants anything to do with people who are fans of Snyder.
That's true.
So-
Well, I mean, that might be true. He's not shying away from them on Twitter though. Like he still addresses
Run away
them
from
in
anyone
questions.
on Twitter.
No, he doesn't. Give him credit. Give him credit.
Well, to a certain extent, at some point he's going to need to stop because he's feeding the trolls a bit.
He does. He definitely does. All right.
Well,
And that's
they're
the DC
going to
news.
exist before him and after him.
What?
Him getting that job didn't prevent them from doing it beforehand.
It's fine, but I mean, now that he has this job, it's like you should be above this sort
Why?
of.
Why?
Because it seems like he's wasting all his like energy on like just fighting with people, and
Just
you know,
tweeting?
it's not a good look
I don't think
as
it's-
the.
I don't think
as
it's a
the
lot of
head.
energy.
I don't know. We'll see. Again, I don't think he makes it through this year in this position because I think he's going to burn out on it. Partially because he engages with these people this much.
A year? Wow. Okay. You have,
I don't think he makes it through the year.
okay, bud.
Yeah.
Bold prediction there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that, buddy, but I think that I don't know. I'm shocked. But well, I mean, we'll see. All right. Let's get into some news, guys. Let's talk other news. Other news. Sorry. Let's talk about. We'll go over to Marvel because that's really the other thing we talk about usually on this podcast. We do DC, we do Marvel, we do some other stuff, but mostly just those two. And there's a lot of Marvel news coming out right now, and some good stuff, some really cool stuff. You've got Liv Tyler returning in Captain America 4. So that's
What was she
interesting.
in?
She's
Hulk.
Incredible Hulk, the Incredible
Oh,
Hulk.
the Edward Norton one.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Well,
So
she wasn't in anything else since then, right?
no,
Wow. Okay.
impressive, right? I mean, they were going to bring back the original actor that Harrison Ford took over for. That's why they recasted him, because this was kind of a big thing for them to do, which is kind of a weird thing to do for a Captain America movie, to bring the Hulk villains into this. But
Well, again, we can't do solo Hulk stuff, so if they want to do anything with that character, they have to be shoehorned into other people's stuff.
yeah, it's true. I just it's just a weird have Red Hulk, was it Betty? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
think so.
yeah, it's kind of a weird comment. And the leader, that's right, the leader's in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just weird, but I'm excited for it though. I like the Hulk villains. I don't know much about Hulk villains, so it's like kind of a fresh thing for me to see. Um, so only thing I've learned from the Hulk villains is usually during the cartoon back in the olden days. Um, that's all I had, because I never really read a Hulk comic book, so to be fair. So all right, what else we got here? We've got Secret Invasion date, premiering on Disney Plus June 21st. Marvel Secret Invasion. So it didn't get delayed, like I heard. We had heard. I heard it was getting pushed.
You
So
heard it got pushed by who?
I was hearing it was going to get pushed because of the
By
budget
who?
cuts. Because of the budget cuts by the. It was
By
reported on multiple
who?
sites. I gotta give multiple sites. I don't know. There's like Marvel Direct. There's like Marvel. The sites I see on the social media stuff. So,
Uh,
but there was talk about it. I'll say that. A
Well,
lot of the rumored people I follow, stuff like that. There's a lot of talk that they might push it because of the budget cuts, and they're not sure what they want to premiere with. And but it June 21st.
I mean, there's still a couple months left, so could get.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm excited for this. I mean, Nick Fury back. Samuel L. Jackson. I haven't seen him in a while in a movie, which is weird to say for a Marvel universe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think his time as a character is kind of past. But I mean, maybe
This can
he'll help
rejuvenate
put
it.
together the new Avengers. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me to think about them doing like the Secret Invasion stuff when we're deep into the multiverse stuff, territory.
Yeah, yeah.
I think those are like two really high level concepts for people to juggle. So it'll be interesting how
Like
it plays out.
replacement people, and then also
Right.
like alternate world people.
Right, because it's like it's like, okay, you're gonna have how many versions of like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, but then it's like, oh well, actually that one was a scroll. Like, can you imagine them being like, oh yeah, that Tobey Maguire was a scroll or something like that? It's like, what? But who knows? I mean, it was I guess a pretty decently popular storyline for the comic, so hopefully it translates well. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Yeah, we will see about that.
I
But
didn't realize this was going to be a TV show. I thought it was going to be a movie. But
okay, same budgets.
Same budget. I don't know about that.
No, it's still insane budget for a TV show, isn't it? Like, it is nuts what they spend on these TV shows.
Well, yeah,
some of
it's all
them,
stopping. It's all stopping.
selectively, I think.
I think so. You're right. You're right. And weird decisions wise, weird selections. I think a lot of times you're like, why did they cut this budget? But we'll see what they do with this, with the new regime, or the old regime back, and the fact that the VFX artist actually stepped down for Marvel. So, or the Disney Plus. Is Disney or just Marvel? It's Marvel.
Marvel. She got fired.
Yeah.
She needs to
Step
step
down, or the room.
Did?
There's a lot of things flying. What happened? So there was reports about her playing favorites behind the scenes of like certain people working with her, basically blacklisting people she didn't like. And the fact that it was like so sudden that she stepped down, there was clearly some issues that they had. But I also do think the progress reports, like the tracking of the way the VFX have gone recently, I feel like they needed to make a change. Like maybe that's where they felt. I think there was a multiple things here with this, because what the biggest issue we've had with multiple Marvel projects right now have been the VFX, right? I mean, and we know why, and I think she was very vocal about that too. There's two things. Like, she was also very vocal about the fact they also had no time with a lot of things too. She complained about that quite often, so maybe that rattled the cages a little bit, but it was true. So I don't know. I felt like they were almost kind of ready to make a change, and then they heard the news about what other things she was doing, and it was kind of like, okay, that's it. We're out of here. So,
Yeah,
or
I
you're out of
mean,
here.
I'm not surprised. I feel like after Ant-Man bombed, they really had to find a scapegoat for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
maybe that's what they
So,
did. I mean, VFX though, I don't think that looked terrible. That movie. I
I
just,
mean, it didn't look terrible. Like you look at the past year, and it's middling at best. I would say on average.
mm,
Between the TV, if you include the TV shows, especially. I just think they bit off more than they could chew, and they're having to hire all these different VFX studios in addition
oh yeah,
to they're always doing like last minute changes where it's like you can't do that and expect it to look good like the end product. Like you have to be like, okay, this is it, this is the final scene, lock it in, and then let them develop it for 3 to 6 months, and coming at the 11th hour and being like, actually, you know what, Ant-Man's gonna he's just gonna live, don't kill him off and stuff like that. It's like, wait, what? Like now you're just gonna have to do all this shit over again and make it look worse. So
yeah, yep. I mean, we'll see what kind of improvements they make going forward. All right. Lastly, in the news, I have some. This is cool. Like this is a rumor still. It's reporting. It's being reported. This is happening, so it's not definitively, but it's a fun conversation piece. It's apparently Wilson Fisk, character, the Kingpin, is supposed to launch his overarching MCU role with Daredevil. So not just, and this is not just Disney Plus, but kind of mostly Disney Plus. If I look at the list of stuff where he'll be making appearances in,
mm-hmm.
but basically um, he's going to be running, basically running for mayor across multiple things. Can you guys talk about this for a second? I got to go real quick and check on something real quick. Sorry, it's an emergency.
All right. Well, the thing is, I don't know anything about this. I thought we already got its introduction in Hawkeye, um, but I guess if he's going to be a mayor, yeah, makes sense that he would be more all-encompassing for all these other characters. He always was kind of that role in the comics anyway. The Kingpin. He's the Kingpin. He's everyone's big bad in a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, putting him as the mayor, especially if it's presumed to be New York City, I mean, that would put him in direct conflict with not only Daredevil, but hopefully Spider-Man, when he's doing street level stuff.
Sure.
I mean, and then, even Punisher. And just those are the three. And if you want to start extending it, you got, what's her name? Elektra you could use. Plus, any of the other, New York City villains, if they want to bring in an MCU equivalent of Osborn, or
That'd be kind of
anything
cool.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, did you discuss the so Echo is a series which he will be on 100% as a villain. Armor Wars, apparently Captain America: New World Order, Thunderbolts, and the Marvels. So those are the appearances he'll be making. Like I said, he's running for mayor, so like these may be just cameos. They may be like, kind of like a building roles for him as a villain. And I do love the fact that you can see them bouncing back and forth from the Disney Plus to the movies. I like that bounce back and forth thing to make it all cohesive. Really, really connected.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, we have to start setting up villains, aside from
Be the big bads.
the big bads,
Yeah, yeah.
including what's his name, Majors.
Kang,
Oh, Majors. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
to.
yeah, who
we got
may
to
be
get into
up in the
that.
air.
We'll get into that
We'll
in a
discuss
moment.
that.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
discuss that in a second. But
But like I was telling Mike, I think if you have Fisk set up as the mayor of New York City, that sets up some really interesting plot lines, especially because so many superheroes operate out of New York City, obviously. But I believe, according to a leaked document, maybe it's known already now, but uh, Ross is supposed to be the president of the United States.
yes,
So
yep.
you could definitely get some, under market or black market underdealings between him and Fisk, or
Oh yeah. Oh
power,
yeah.
stuff like that, because and I think that sets up an interesting like arc for Sam Wilson with him having to take down maybe parts of the United States government and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
it's interesting.
it's cool. I love D'Onofrio, Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk. Anyways, like more I get of him, the better it is. Like he loves the character, so this is awesome. So
Yeah, sounds good. They're just throwing him in everything they can. Sort of seems like now that they got him.
yeah, well, why not? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's really make this connected. Let's keep showing people up. Like, oh, look, like you see him in the background. There he is over there.
Yeah.
Um,
I always considered Kingpin a good shared villain. Like more
yeah.
than one character always had to
Well,
deal with him.
for years, I considered him only Spider-Man villain.
I did
Because
too
I
because of
was,
the cartoon. He was like
yeah,
the big bad
absolutely,
of the '90s cartoon.
Hmm.
yeah.
But yeah,
But he was more of a Daredevil villain in the comics, so it's kind of cool to
originally
have
I
that
think so.
originally.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I absolutely think he shows up in the next Spider-Man movie. There's zero doubt in my mind. So I would bet on it. That's how certain I am of this. Um, yeah. So we mentioned Jonathan Majors. We have to talk about that before we finish up here. Um, there's not much extra news yet. There's not much finality to this. It's basically been reported that there was an altercation where he apparently assaulted um, a woman who ended
his
up in the hospital.
girlfriend.
It ended up being his girlfriend who ended up in the hospital. Um, he was arrested or arraigned, or I don't know, it was the difference really. And then it's been reported now that his lawyer says it's completely innocent and that there's video evidence of this, that nothing happened, and they have a written, you know, thing from the girlfriend taking back what was said to the cops. And but then there's also reports of directors saying that there was some.
Yeah, so that's the weird part. After the initial report, these multiple people came out of the woodwork and just like this guy's a bad guy,
Yeah.
which is also like why didn't you mention this before? But whatever. Um, so I don't know what to think yet, but obviously this is pretty big headache for Marvel because he was their big bag going
I
forward, and
mean, the thing is
we'll
for
see
him
what
is
happens.
his face is literally everywhere. You know what I mean? There's how many variants of Kang and like millions of Kangs, so it's like I just
Suppose you
like.
could write in a variant that looks a little different, might happen, but
Or you could replace that. You could replace that easily as well because of that. Because you've seen different Lokis, but it's still like they definitely banked on him being their big bad as an actor, and I think he's done a fantastic job so far, despite Ant-Man not being a great movie. I had no problem with him as the villain in this. Um, I just if he's a bad dude, you gotta get him away. We don't know the actual information yet. Like we don't know, is he really what he is, or is he you know is he being misrepresented here and grab a pitchfork and what I mean,
I'm
don't grab that pitchfork kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's
well, I'm very curious to see how they approach this because just because charges don't stick, that doesn't necessarily mean like the court of public opinion will agree. And
well, that's
what
that's
does
what I
Disney do in that situation?
I said in the
Especially with
Discord.
these other people coming out and being like, "No, this guy sucks."
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
that's what's weird.
there's been I guess a weird issue with him with this, but I understand in Discord though, like if it was just a written statement from the girlfriend walking it back, I'd be like, okay, if there's money involved, paid off kind of thing. But if there's video evidence, which we haven't seen, then that maybe nothing really did happen this time. That doesn't mean that he's not this bad guy either. He could still be that guy and not have this bad incident. It still could be. It's
Yeah,
we can have everything here that we're talking about. That may still be the case, and that will come to light then. I mean, look what happened to Ezra Miller.
what happened to
They
Ezra Miller?
they I know they're just lost. I mean, apparently doing better. Good for them. But I just I don't even know. Like you don't think about like these. I guess Jonathan Majors is more of like a method actor. That's the kind of person he is. So you don't know how much that interferes with his lifestyle. And method acting, I
I
just I
don't
don't know.
know if I would want to go with that as an excuse, but whatever.
I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just telling
I
you, like
know,
he's
but
yeah. That's also why I've heard multiple actors that make fun of method actors because it's just not a good way to do things. So
well, I don't know. Well, I'm curious to see because Disney has avoided most controversy and they're very conscious of their PR, unlike other companies.
well, the
So
fact that they haven't just cut him this fast usually means
Well,
that
they
there's,
have so much riding on them. They really do. This would be
but they're pretty quick
like part
movies.
of the like we said that we were wondering if the Secret Wars thing would be delayed. If it's not delayed, I mean, oh, I guess Kang's not in it because I feel like you would have to pause anything that features him heavily at this point until you know what really
Well,
is going on with him.
I mean, they're kind of. I mean, I think Loki is the end of summer, isn't it? We're not sure exactly, but that's what I've heard, and so that he's gonna be in. There's no doubt about it. So that do you think this will be resolved by then?
Uh,
Possibly.
maybe not resolve. I mean, well, apparently the woman already recanted her statement or something like
Yeah, that's what I
that.
said. She has a written recanting statement, and like I said, there's video evidence. But I said that this could also cause a problem. Like if they look into this and he really is, this may
Yeah.
have not been the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like this
No,
could
no,
have,
no.
he could
Right,
still
right,
have a
exactly.
problem.
But it's just the thing that gets the attention.
Yeah,
and
this
stuff.
could
That's
start
fine.
it. Yes.
I mean, I think Marvel they'll make a decision.
Oh,
one
sure.
way or another.
Disney
Something
makes
like that.
Disney will make that decision quickly
Absolutely.
usually. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Have a history of just dropping people they don't want for that role immediately. So they do. So if they don't like you, they
I
they
mean,
get rid of you.
and the thing is with Kang, I mean, you can kind of it's sort of easy to just put him behind a helmet, with the blue tint. I mean,
You could, but you still have his likeness.
yeah, you do, but I mean, nah,
Yeah.
it's not the biggest thing. I mean, he was only shown twice.
So far. So yeah, it's true. All right. That's going to wrap up the Moviecast episode, folks. So thanks for tuning in. We are coming back shortly, right after this, with our Gamecast episode. So stay tuned for that. We are live streaming on Twitch Tuesday night starting at 8 o'clock. Join us. You can ask questions, comment, and chat with us while we're on this live session here. YouTube the following day. Subscribe to that channel so you get the latest notifications of when we launch our episodes. Like I said, this is going to do it for this episode. Gamecast coming up next. We will see you then.